Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pooja at A Book by the Window. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are reading good. We are back here on this couch for another book review. The book that I'm gonna review today is Salman Rushdie's Harun and the Sea of Stories. But before I go into the video, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you make it till the end of the video, please like, share and comment. Any feedback, I'm open to it. I do book related videos here. And if you want to check out my main channel, that's gonna be in the description box below. Before I get into the video, I'll just like to say that this book has not been very popular on social media. And how I know it is because a subscriber, a follower on Instagram, messaged me when I was reading this book and posting my reading updates there that they've only seen very few people read this book, and it was years back that they have picked it up from a bookstore and how they were really happy to see it. And I had a similar story where I bought this in India and I really didn't know what this book is about, but because I really like short stories, I thought this is going to be a book about short stories, and I already like Salman Rushdie's writing style, so that's why I bought this. But I'm gonna go into what this book is actually about, because it's not about short stories, although the title of the book makes you feel like that. But it's not about short stories, it's about stories, but in a different way. And what that means is what we are gonna talk into this video now. We always start with a little plot of the book, and the plot of the book is pretty simple. Harun and the Sea of Stories centers around young Harun Khalifa, whose father Rashid is a storyteller in a city so sad that it has forgotten its name. The story kicks off on a sad note. Harun's mother Suraya runs off with another man, and that's when Rashid loses his skill of storytelling. Harun, who is feeling really bad for his father, sets off on his adventure to find his skill of storytelling back, and that's what the story entails, where he goes across to the Sea of Stories to find that skill of storytelling back and give it to his dad, who is already feeling defeated in his life. Harun's journey takes him to the Sea of Story, a fantastic land where all stories in the realm originate from. Guided by the water genie and riding on the Hoopy, the bird, the mechanical bird, Harun must tackle the very villainous Khatam Sood, who is on a quest to silence all stories in the land, and he must stop him from poisoning the sea. On the surface, it feels like the quest is about saving his dad, saving the land from stories, but on a deeper level, it is about the importance of stories in our lives, and as humans, how storytelling has been the first skill that we developed, right from sitting in caves and imparting stories or tales about random things in life. And it doesn't go into that, but as I understand, I'm also a really big advocate, propellant, lover of stories, and this book just spoke so much to me in that sense. Moving on to writing. The best part of Salman Rushdie's books are, of course, his writing. He's known for his rich poetic prose, and Harun and the Sea of Stories is no exception. It's vibrant and evocative. It's filled with playful puns and inventive wordplay that definitely adds a layer of delight to the whole reading experience. Like, for example, the villain's name Khatam Sood, whose name literally means to finish. Or another bird in the story who's called Baatcheet, which literally translates to talking, chit-chat. So all of these wordplays really made this read very interesting to me, and I enjoy wordplay a lot. Having read so many books, I find words that have been taken from some other reference, I truly enjoy doing that. And whenever I would come across a word like that, it just brought a smile to my face in the truest sense of the way. Particularly in this book, Rushdie's narrative technique is very immersive, combining the whimsical with the profound. He creates a world which is fantastical on one level, but is real in the complex sense of the way. He invites the readers to explore these complex themes with almost like a childlike wonder. When I read about how this book was supposedly meant to be written for Rushdie's son, I understood how this makes a perfect read for kids, but also gives adults something to ponder about at the end of it. I always talk about the highlights of the book, and for me, Harun and the Sea of Story hold a lot of highlights. Number one is, as I said, the wordplay, the intended use of pun to describe a character whose own characteristics are so in line with the name that are given. It excites you, but also another highlight of the book is its rich and imaginative world building. The title, The Sea of Stories, in itself is such a fascinating concept, a continuous stream of narratives, each story holding a different meaning. But also Rushdie's vivid description make this world come alive, allowing the readers to visualize its colorful and dynamic environment. The third highlight is the cast of characters. Harun in itself is a very brave kid who takes up every challenge that comes his way, and he tries to do the right thing in the moment. Then there is If, the water genie, and Bud, the Hoopy, who adds humor and excitement to the narrative. The interplay between these characters, how they converse with each other and how they find themselves in perilous situations, make this read very captivating and engaging. Finally, the main highlight, the crux of the book is its advocacy for storytelling, the fight against censorship, and the power of imagination. These themes are interwoven seamlessly in the character and the story, providing a thought-provoking content without giving away the fun and exploration part of you being on an adventure. Every book has a slow light, and I'm here to tell the lowlights of this book. Although it was a very captivating read, the first lowlight in the book for me is some readers might not like its whimsical and vivid storytelling and the vagueness of the narrative, because some readers just like reading straightforward reads and it's not for everyone. Second lowlight I would say is some people might find Rushdie's emphasis on not having censorship and the importance of storytelling too much on the nose. When I say this, what I mean is sometimes Rushdie's emphasis on the importance of not having censorship, the importance of being imaginative, all of these allegories and metaphors might come across as too preachy, and sometimes readers only want to read about a fun read, a fiction or something that happened out of the blue just to get away from their normal lives. So some people might find it too preachy at some point. I did not, but I definitely see that how that can happen. The last lowlight, the only lowlight that I felt was that between the book starts off really nicely, it engages you, and it also ends in a way where a lot of things are happening, but in the middle it drags on slightly and there is an extension of the narratives, the subplots, which I understand Rushdie is trying to build up a story and give some depth to the characters, but it was dying on a bit for me. And sometimes, particularly for me, I find having a lot of characters in a story, in a book, too confusing. That is why I do not read. It's just one of those things that I cannot do because I get confused between the subplots a lot and between the characters' names also. In this book, I found it hard to follow some of the characters' names, although I liked reading about them when I came across them, but this is something that is really particular and unique to me. I found myself struggling with characters' name already. In conclusion, Rushdie's Harun of the Sea of Stories is a beautifully crafted tale, one that highlights the importance of storytelling. It has a rich and imaginative plot, and as is, I am a big advocate of learning to visualize things in your life, having that creative spirit, being more imaginative. So people who are looking to build up that muscle, this book is for you. It also reminds you of like a childlike wonder where when I read it, I found myself revisiting my school days where I would pick up short books like these and be amazed by the storytelling itself and how adventurous and how fun the protagonist is having, but also get disappointed because there's always a dip in the story. How else would they overcome their fears and their battles, and whenever they would win after a hard and struggling battle, I would relate it to myself, and that's how my principle got built up in life. When I read enough of these stories, I started believing in the good in the world, and it certainly reminded me of going back to school, how I would enjoy such reads and be more idealistic in life. I give this book a 4-star and I highly recommend it for readers who are looking for a good adventure, or who like fantasy and are looking for something that talks about the importance of storytelling. It is truly a testament to the enduring power of narrative and preserving the importance of the freedom to tell them. Thank you so much for watching. Those are all the thoughts that I had about Salman Rushdie's Harun and the Sea of Stories. If you liked this video, if you liked the review, or if you found this useful, I'd really appreciate if you like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you have any particular book, do let me know if you have already read it, or if there's another book you'd like me to review, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm also very open to feedback. I'm trying to build up this channel. It's a very new channel and I take all the feedback. I try to reply to as many comments as I can. So I'm taking all the data points that I can. But in the meantime, I hope you did enjoy this video. I hope you guys read well. I hope you guys do well. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.